Welcome to Seeking Minimalism. My name is Anne. This is my story on redefining what letting go means to me. As I strive towards having less, I've come to learn a sense of internal freedom that comes with it. Breaking away from the outside influences in my life has helped me find a new sense of clarity. Through this series, I am sharing with you insights and challenges that has helped me come closer to me. Hi loves, it's Anne. Welcome back to Seeking Minimalism. Today's video is video number 4 on social detox. I wanted to do something special for you, and so when I was out on my road trip toward the eastern part of the Sierra, in my mind I had this whole vision planned out that I was going to film with this beautiful backdrop and share with you part of my road trip and some of the things that I enjoy whenever I'm out traveling. The background was incredible. I set up my camera. I came to realize that I forgot to bring my mic, and then at the same time the wind was constantly blowing in my face. My eyes started watering up, my makeup smudge all over my eyes. So that turned out to be a disaster. I then took my camera, brought it into the car to film, and things seemed like they were going well. Once I start recording in the car, I had this beautiful mountaintop range behind, and it was such a beautiful setup. But then when I brought the footage home and I started editing, I realized that I didn't really like the flow and feel of the video, because at that moment of filming and recording, I was just really intense. I had so much going on. I had the right intention. I was just really tense because I was on a schedule. I wanted to film before the sun comes down, before my boyfriend gets back into the car and ruin my flow and distract me. Lots of stuff were going on in my head. That intensity kind of like exude in my video. Something that I'm learning with social media is that I am going to take my time with it until I feel like my message is clear and my intentions are right. And so before I put out any content, I want to make sure that I provide value instead of just, throwing content out there because I want to keep the momentum of my views and just doing, trying to follow the right algorithm technique tricks. That is not going to be my priority, because I feel like whenever I allow that to happen, and sometimes that kind of mentality comes back to me, I feel like it takes away from the overall creation. And something that I want to make sure whenever it comes to social media is that I just want to make sure that the message comes out right, clear, and it comes from a really good place with the right intention. I feel like I have come closer to becoming more genuine and authentic to myself. I was just doing things unconsciously, doing things that I was just taught to do. And so like many of us, we're kind of like in this life and we're just seeking what it is that serves us without knowing exactly or understanding how to do it in the most authentic and genuine way. I want to share with you my learning experience with social media and how I'm using it in a more healthy way in this part of my life. I think that we're all trying to do the best we can with what we know at the moment. So it's very easy for us to kind of like look at other people and just want to fix them and tell them what is right and what is wrong. And overall, with what I want to convey in all my videos is not as somebody who is telling you what is right and what is wrong. Like, I don't want to be another guru. I don't want to come off as like I am your teacher, I am a guru, whatever it is. I just want to share my story. I think that is important for us to do, is to respect and create a healthy and a safe place for each other, so that way we can grow as our individual self. Social media has been a great part of my life. You know, there's many pros and there's many cons. It's something that is not going to go away. It's actually part of our everyday life now on moving forward. We won't be able to escape it. So why not like learn how to live with it and learn how to use it the correct way? Just like with everything we're given, you know, it could either be a weapon, like with a planter that's made out of ceramic. It's really heavy. It really depends on how you use it. You know, you could use it to decorate your plant in with it, or you could use it as a weapon and like hurt somebody with it. So with social media, I think that it comes down to just being conscious and aware of our actions. And I know that when I've become more, you know, intentional and more mindful of what I'm doing, I am able to take control over how I feel and how I come about things and how I see things. As humans, I believe that we're just so emotional that we don't know what to do with our emotions, and that's why we find all these distractions to kind of like cover up some of these emotions. We don't know what to do with our time. There's an underlying and undeniable, inevitable understanding that life is limited. You know, one day we're all going to die. It's just something guaranteed, people say, right? Life and tax and death, something like that. But we all know that, you know, our time will come, whether it be early or late, whatever it is. And just that understanding kind of leave us lingering. Some of us, or most of us, I know myself, I'm always asking that question of what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why do I exist? The way I see it, and based on what I understand so far, is that through history, you know, we're always looking for an answer of why are we here? What is our purpose? And if you go all the way back then, we would come up with stories and beliefs based on what we see up in the sky. You know, we would worship certain elements of this planet because it gives us some hope, some faith to look forward to. And so there are stories and scriptures and all these things that are passed on so that way it can help us just have a understanding and navigate ourselves like through evolution. And you know, that's why there are certain belief systems held in place, and these belief systems are kind of like they follow us throughout, you know, the decades, and they kind of like transition into different kind of sects and different kind of like cults. And this is not to belittle or to talk down upon anybody's faith or beliefs. This is how I view life, and this is what helps me understand and grasp life in a more profound way. I've done and experienced many things that help give me an understanding of the world, and I don't feel like I'm lost based on, you know, all of the teachings that I've been exposed to. There is this system in place where it's always like we are the follower of a greater being. We are nothing without this existence. With that belief system, it makes me feel like as if I am not whole all the time, and that I have to be a lower kind of being, and I will never be there where I need to be because I have to do the right thing according to this figure. And that kind of exude into everything in our life is because everything is like, you're not good enough, you need saving, you need a savior kind of mentality. I feel like that is kind of our underlying mindset. And with this kind of mindset, it brings us into lingering loneliness feeling of not knowing what to do with our time. And so we have this huge disconnection with other people, with life altogether. And so social media is the latest thing that we can use as a distraction. Before, we used to procrastinate with video games, or we would do something else, like we would get so involved in gossip that we don't pay attention to ourselves. But with social media, it's just so accessible, and so that is why we're constantly programmed to go to Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, now TikTok, and we just go on there. because we don't know what to do with our time. And when I got out of that mindset and belief system, that was when I realized that I can empower myself just through the way I live, the way I think, and the way I feel. And I am connected and I am one with everybody else. Next, I feel like it's easier to connect with people through social media because it's a controlled environment. So you don't have to be in a room with people and see or have this feeling of being judged. You know, it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you are around people and you think that they're judging you or they're looking at you, studying you. It's easier to be on social media because you can control your outcome and how people perceive you. We can edit our videos, we can edit our photos, we have control over what we put out there, and therefore it's easier to use Instagram, to use text messaging instead of having real connection with people. Next, I think the reason why social media is so addicting is because judging people is a lot easier than fixing ourselves. And I think that, some of us, we don't realize. I know that this was me before. When I used to judge people, it's because I feel like I'm out of control myself and I don't know how to control certain emotions. I don't know how to fix myself. And so when I see people that I want to fix, I start to judge them like, oh my God, why don't she do this with her life? Why don't she do that? And I become critical. And this is just not me realizing that I, feel insecure in a certain part of my life, and therefore it's easier for me to look at somebody, break down their flaws and issues and whatever it is and try to fix that than fix myself. And I think that looking at our own flaws and problems and issues is a lot more difficult than it is to look at somebody and, point out all of their flaws or whatever they can fix. Because at the end of the day, we're just really running away from ourselves. In my videos, one of my last Seeking Minimalism video, I talked about how there are givers and there are takers in life, and how I like to apply that way of thinking on Instagram. There are givers and there are takers. The takers are people who want your likes, who wants your validation, who want you to buy their stuff, who want you to give them views, who want your likes, your comments, just wanting your attention and your time. And then the givers are people who are giving you information, who are inspiring you, who are sharing with you like aspect of their life in order to help bring value into your life. So givers are people who provide value. And I think that, when we can see that, we can also see if we are a giver and a taker and how we can bring balance to that or how we can provide value. So that's how I look at it. And that helps me kind of spend my time wisely. And if you ever feel like you're bored, you lost motivation, there are so many other avenues you can look into to find something that would spark your curiosity again. I know that I have lost motivation for a while, with filming and everything like that. It's just, I don't find it fun anymore to film the same thing over and over, making DIY videos, making haul videos, making fashion videos. I feel like I wasn't providing any value or providing anything helpful to other people. And for me, I love to help and also, learn at the same time. So when it comes to, finding that motivation again, it was a tough moment. You can't just find motivation anything. I just started doing different things. I started to learn how to do ceramics and then, get back into painting, and, motivation and inspiration would come in and out. Recently, hiking and camping really has sparked my curiosity. It's funny because, a few years ago, I went on this hiking trip to Machu Picchu, and it was a 3-4 day hike, and it was a very creepy trail. It was very eerie, and it was a beautiful place, but it was pretty eerie the way the energy that I was feeling on that trail, and it was very difficult. It was just an incline throughout the whole time. And so I told myself, like, I wasn't a very active person then, and that trip made me hate hiking and camping altogether. And so I told myself, I was like, I'm never gonna camp, I'm never gonna hike again, never. I hate it, this is awful, this is not for me. And that was it. But recently I just started watching hiking, camping videos, and I started like traveling a little bit more within the country, you know, and I really love connecting with the outdoors, with nature, and just, you know, being around trees, plants and lakes, and it just makes me feel so much at peace, you know. And so I've been more curious about how people camp and how, you know, how I could be a better hiker, because I'm such a slow hiker. Like, I'm a slow walker. Like, I really enjoy taking my time walking and, you know, just getting a feel of where I am. Because like the last trip I went to, the Machu Picchu trip, like everybody there were experienced hikers. It seemed like it was more of a race. Like, everybody wanted to feel like they were the best and strongest hiker, and they were the fastest walker. And every time I walk with people who are into hiking, I feel like it's always a competition of who is walking the fastest and who's the strongest like hiker, whatever it is. And I thought that hiking was more about, you know, taking your time, walking through the woods and enjoying it. But I guess it depends on what you want out of the hike, right? So maybe I was just in the wrong group and with the wrong crowd. I really feel like with everything we do, there is always that underlying feeling of feeling lost, feeling alone, feeling like you're always finding your purpose. And even though you have a religion or whatnot, life is always evolving and changing. But if you allow yourself to be more open and open doors to newer ideas, newer perspective, I really think that life is the religion, and life is what's always constantly teaching us based on where we are in our thought process and in our journey. So instead of just kind of like being closed off or just being set in a way, in a system of belief, if we allow ourselves to just let life teach us and to let life be our mentor, then, you know, we are flowing with it. And social media is just kind of like a part of that process. And if we look at it like as if it's some evil, then that will be our truth. But if we can look at it as if it is just like a planter and how we use it, you know, we could just put a cute pretty plant in there, then it can be something that is beneficial to us. So if you are more intentional and mindful with how you're using social media, like identify the givers and the takers and see that within yourself, are you a giver and are you a taker, then this system in place will become a little bit more fluid and will help us all out all together. I am a lot more intentional and mindful with the way I am using it. I apply that taker and giver method to it, and so anybody who I feel like wants or is taking my time, then I would just mute them, unfollow, and I would give my valuable time and spend my time wisely to those creators who are inspiring me, who are, you know, lifting me up, who make me feel like I want to live life to the fullest and excite me. And so those are the people that I want to give back to. And you know, I think that if we become more conscious and aware of how we're doing things, then we can take control over of who we are and what we want to become, instead of letting these like social media platforms take over and control who we are by, you know, making us feel less than, and always, you know, making you feel like we need to step things up. And that just takes away from being authentic and being genuine in whatever it is you are doing. So going back to the beginning of this video, I found myself kind of being pulled back into, oh, you know, keep the momentum up, you know, you want to make a video with this beautiful backdrop, blah, 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 blah. And I caught myself and I'm like, no, I want to make sure that my message is going to be my priority. You know, what it is I say is going to be my priority. So those are just my insights, and I really really enjoy sharing my journey with you. So thank you so much for spending today with me, especially watching to the end of this video. If you want to support my channel, a like or comment below this video about where you are in your journey and some of the things that stood out to you in today's video. That would be appreciated. I also have a Patreon that I just opened. I started creating worksheets, and these worksheets were basically for me to use as like a mental exercise. And so I thought it would be fun to incorporate it into my Patreon. I created like different templates and artworks for you to do. Some are like improv artwork that I did for my Creative Minds journal, and I added on to the Patreon membership. If you are interested, you're not obligated whatsoever. Anything, your likes, your comments, your views, like I already appreciate it enough. If you do want to check it out, the link is below this video. Other than that, thank you all so much. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will talk to you next time. Ciao!